In our last 5 sessions, we discussed a letter from a woman who was baffled at the angry response of her boyfriend, Carl, when she dared to suggest that he take a particular exit on the interstate as they drove in an unfamiliar part of the state. I explained how she had affected the delicate balance of power in his life and suggested that in the future she consider 4 questions before making suggestions. First, is this any of my business? Second, does this really matter? Now, back to the writer of the letter. Third question, am I being unconditionally loving? If you are the least bit impatient or irritated as you offer a suggestion, it will be received as a criticism, guaranteed, and your interaction will go badly. Fourth question, can the other person hear what I'm about to say in a loving way? If you honestly answer these questions, you'll discover that most of the time, the best course of action is to keep your suggestions to yourself. In other words, you'll discover initially, as you start to ask these questions of yourself when you're about to give advice, you'll discover that you turn into a mute. I used to think that people needed to hear what I thought all the time, and now I've learned that people hardly ever need my advice. Most of the time, they just want my love and support. They'd rather figure things out on their own. To be sure, in some relationships, you'll learn from experience that suggestions are welcome almost any time with some people. Some people enjoy the feedback of others, but until you're certain of that, be very cautious about offering what you think. Now let's go back to you and Carl in the car and answer the 4 questions. Was it your business? Maybe. I don't know if you agreed, both of you, that takes both of you by the way, to be the navigator for the trip. Unlikely. But certainly if he was lost, it did affect your evening. So kind of a plus minus on that answer. Maybe it was your business, maybe not, don't know. Second question, did it matter? That would have to be a no. Even if you saved a little time by picking the right exit, the risk of potential damage by insulting his manhood was far too great for the tiny benefit of saving a few minutes in travel time. No. Third question, could you say it lovingly? Maybe, who knows? I wasn't there with you. Fourth question, could he hear it lovingly? Not a chance. A man that you already know doesn't feel loved, lost on the road, feeling helpless and annoyed, and then you're going to make him feel foolish by offering a suggestion? Darling, there don't exist words in the English language to deliver a suggestion in a way that he could hear it. Now, that's not your fault. He just couldn't hear it. Period. So, on the 4 questions, here's the score. Plus or minus on the first, a no on the second, maybe on the third, and on the fourth, a no. And you only get to speak if you can answer yes on all 4. You don't have a single yes. So what does that mean? You don't get to speak. Period. This really makes it easy, doesn't it? So what's the solution? You're in the car, you wander around lost for a while until he figures it out, and he will, really, he will. You won't end up in Guatemala or Bangladesh. Hang on, bring a flashlight, read a book. It'll be okay. Now, let's assume that there is an occasion where you can answer all 4 questions with a yes, or you think you can, but Carl ends up resenting your advice anyway. He reacts with anger. Now what do? Instead of getting angry or running away, you can remember what you've learned here, that he's angry only because he feels empty and afraid. So you just reach out, you gently touch him on the knee, and you say, "Oh, I thought I understood what you needed here, but I made a mistake. I was wrong. Forget about it." When we realize that the people around us need our unconditional love more than anything else, including the benefit of our advice, we will have way more productive interactions with them.